Hello and welcome to another live, both on LinkedIn and YouTube, where we'll be looking at the 5 ways that Juji have leveraged the power of generative AI to help people like me and perhaps people like you develop and deploy their conversational AI platform quicker, whether you're calling it a chatbot or an AI helper, AI assistant, digital assistant, whatever the name is. If it's got conversational AI behind it and you want to use generative AI, I'm going to show you the ways that Juji have implemented it. So if you've never seen Juji before, I'll be doing this at a pace where you can really follow along. The video will be available afterwards, so you can always catch it. As I always say, you can sign up for Juji account today and you'll get full access to everything. There's no restrictions on an account. You sign up, use it, develop it, and you don't start paying anything until you put it out into the real world. So if you're a conversational designer looking to build on a different platform, then give it a try. Really easy to do, and I can help you along with that. And if you're new to conversational AI, I've done quite a lot of these videos now. There's a lot on the YouTube channel, both mine and Juji's. So you can really get to grips with it quite quickly. I'm not going to be able to turn you into an amazing conversational designer, but actually because of generative AI, we can really move you along quickly. So let's get straight into it because I want to finish this in about 20 minutes. We're all busy people and it's a Friday. We'll try and get as much done as we can on a Friday so we end the week on a high. Okay, so let's flick across to Juji. If you've not seen it before, this is the Juji platform. You'll notice that I have built quite a few chatbots as I've been learning the platform. There's so much to it. It's such a powerful tool. But do remember, it is a no-code platform. I've not had to do a single piece of coding for any of these chatbots I've created. Makes it really easy for teams who haven't got coding experience to deploy a really intuitive and joy to use conversational AI platform. So we'll start as we always start, which is here, which is create new chatbot. You'll notice we've got 2 channels. We've got Messenger or website. What I would say is if you're creating on Messenger, it's kind of the lowest common denominator because of some of the restrictions that Facebook put in place of what it can and can't do. So I tend to stick with website. And then you get 2 options. You can go for a blank template, or you can find a generic, one of the actual templates. And you'll notice we've got general, HR, education, healthcare, and all. If I just click on all and then we go down them, you'll notice this one here, this one here, this one here, all have that little brain icon. That means they've got the generative AI elements built into the template, which is fantastic. But we're going to go to education. Oh, bear with me. And you'll notice that we've got a lot here with the brain icon. And we're going to choose this one here, which is Student Recruitment Assistant Multi-Programs. And all we're going to do is click Create. Juji will whiz off and apply the template. What we're going to do is I'm just going to preview it. Normally I'd go into Customized Chatbot, but I want to show you the difference between what is non-generative AI supported template chatbot build and then when we use generative AI. If you've got any questions, please do just ask them in the comments. And do tell me where you are in the world as well. That's often quite important. Let me just check to make sure I'm live. Oh, there we are. 4 minutes ago. I always worry, although it works every single time, I do worry. Yeah, I do worry that it hasn't gone live. Oh, there we go. So let's get back into the build. So we're going to hit Preview Chatbot. And what you'll see is a very, very basic template. Hello, Jim. Thanks for connecting. I am your AI assistant for X University. And then the second dialogue is what brings you here to chat with me? anytime in a chat, you can always text help to see what I can do. I can help you with. And then we've got help option, and then we've got another option, find program for me. So I'm just going to click that. And there you go. It's just going to follow on during the template. Now, if I go into the design mode, you can see all of these topic cards on the left. That is the conversation. And then along the top, we've got Q&A board and chatbot settings. So chatbot settings is the first place we're going to go because this is the first place where I can show you how generative AI is used. And it's here. You'll notice here that I've got all these personas. And if you hover over them, you've got cheerful, serious, cheerful, neutral, neutral, neutral. So there they are. Vita is selected at the moment. And if we do it, we can just put in 3 adjectives. So in this case, persuasive, empathetic, and caring. We could change it. So if I could try, here we go. I'm going to try diligent. Right, Jim, there we go. Diligent, empathetic, something we talk about a lot within chatbot personas, and confident. At the moment, you can just pick 3. You add them in. As long as there's a comma between them, they're applied straight away. There's no saving. It's automatically done. So that is the first place where you'll use generative AI. And what happens is later on when you're creating dialogue, it will use that persona that we've set up and create the dialogue. So if I was you as a brand, I would play around with some of those adjectives and create from the templates and see which one is closest to how your brand wants to be perceived and come across during conversations. Rupesh, thanks for joining me. I've got someone joining me from Seattle. The name's not popped up yet in here, but it will do. But thank you, I really appreciate it. Do you do custom development for app onboarding purposes? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Do send me a DM and we can have that conversation. Right, let's get back into Juji. So that is place 1 where we can use generative AI. So as you can imagine, if you've done any prompt delivery, what you would do is you would precede the prompt with saying you are a customer service agent who is diligent, empathetic, and confident, and then you would obviously apply the rest of the prompt to build the prompt out. And that's what we've done here. So we've said that Vita is going to be diligent, empathetic, and confident in what she says. So that is step 1. Now, if we head into the main chat flow, where a lot of the work done, if you're a conversational designer, this is where you spend most of your time. And you'll notice across the top, we've got this main chat flow, which is this. You can see it in a graph format, but the one we want is use AI to help. So if we click on that, and what you'll see is it's asking for some starting data effectively. And I'm going to use something I used in the last live because I think it works really well. So we're going to use Le Cordon Bleu, which is effectively a cookery school. And then it's asking for what the unique qualities are of this program. So I took these from their website. International faculty. We've got world-class programs. And we'll also have network of institutional, educational institutes. Would help if I could spell. There we go. And I'm just going to tidy that up. There we go. And then it's got popular programs. So it has got Grand Diplôme. It's got Bakery. I'm just going to put Bakery. It's actually a longer name than that. And then I'm going to add in a third. And we're going to put Hospitality Management. But if you work in an educational setting, you can see how that might be. But it wouldn't matter if it was education. It could be healthcare. It could be whatever. Whatever you think are the popular program stroke services. And then we need the URL, which is, let me just bring it up. There we go. I'll just copy that. You can't see it. And there we go. So one last check of the data to make sure I'm happy. Le Cordon Bleu, international faculty, world-class programs, network of educational institutes, and the popular programs are Grand Diplôme, Bakery, and Hospitality Management. And then we've got the URL. So what I'm going to do then is just click on Generate Sample Chat. So this is where it's now using generative AI again. There you go. So I'm just going to quickly read through it. So this is kind of a sample conversation. So Mary says, "Hi, I'm Mary." Juji, the chatbot, says, "Hi, Mary. Welcome to Le Cordon Bleu. What brings you here today?" Mary, "I'm interested in learning more about the programs offered here." Juji chatbot, "Great. We offer a variety of programs, including the Grand Diplôme, Bakery, and Hospitality Management." Brilliant. Pulled that through. "Which of these programs would you like to learn more about?" "I'm interested in the Grand Diplôme." And then talks all about it. Fantastic. So if I didn't like it, I could regenerate. If I decided I didn't want to use this AI assistance, I would just hit never mind. But I'm going to hit apply to my chatbot. And that will start to do its business. Susan from New York City, thank you and welcome. I think you're the first one I've had from New York City. Thank you. So we can see that she's off on step 3 already, generating the Q&As. This takes anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. It's normally pretty quick. Step 4 or 5, generating personalized messages. Come on, Juji, you can do it. It's never failed me yet. Again, if you've got questions, just ask them in the chat. I will keep flicking across and checking it. All right, there we go. So it's done what it needed to do. So if you were here at the beginning, you remember that the chatbot was quite limited. It's still going to seem quite limited, but we are going to be able to expand on it now we've done that. So the first thing we're going to do is just hit the little preview. So we should see how it's changed slightly from the information that we provided for the generative AI. There you go. So it's got the training establishment in. I'm going to click to find a program. One of the things you have to take into account when you're building an AI helper, a chatbot within this educational setting, is that they're going to be spending a lot of money. So you've got to spend your time really working on it. So I can see it's working all good. So I'm going to head back into design. And what happened was it used the generative AI elements to create, give me a kickstart of 10 FAQs, Q&As as we call it in Juji, which is fascinating. Again, big time saver. So you can see the Q&As it's got is, what is Le Cordon Bleu? What type of programs does Le Cordon Bleu offer? What is the duration of the programs offered by Le Cordon Bleu? Does Le Cordon Bleu offer online programs? Does Le Cordon Bleu offer scholarships? All sound like really good, relevant questions. But this is something where, as a conversational designer, I would then be working with the team to make sure that these are relevant and that the answers are correct. Remember, generative AI can produce rubbish, So you've got to be able to check it. But reading through these, it looks pretty damn good. Oh, if you see me looking over here, I'm just making sure I don't miss anything from my notes. So we can see it's created these. What we're going to do now, so that is kind of the second way that we did it, generative AI. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to search, and I'm going to let me just find one that I think will work well. If you just do oldest, let's do most recent. So that'll be the ones we've just generated. We'll go with this one here. Where can I check your prerequisites? So you can see there that it's actually created some question variables. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use one that we've generated. I know why. I always forget to do this. So it's generated these. We need to submit them. So tick them on. If I wanted to do individual ones, I would just do it. But we're going to select all and hit submit. There we go. So you see it's added those questions in. So now if I go into the search Q&A, yeah, this is it. This is what I was looking for. So those questions that I put in now, you'll notice are Q 3, 2, 5, 4, 7. They're all in there. And we are going to look at one of these. We'll take this first one. What type of programs does Liquid and Blur offer? And you'll see there's no question variance yet. So I'm just going to select it. You'll notice here that we've got the programs, the question, and then we've got the response. And this is a fantastic use of generative AI. If you've ever built a chatbot before, you know you've got to create some utterances and train the chatbot. And it can take time. I was doing it for another client and another platform yesterday, and it's time consuming. And when you've got a lot of Q&As to do, it can be really, really boring. Really, you want to be focusing your skill on creating really great conversations and driving the conversation to a goal. You don't really want to be spending loads of time just creating utterances. So what we've got is this option here to auto paraphrase a question. So if I click that, it'll have the question, which we saw, and it'll say, how many do you want to generate? So it always defaults to 10, but you can have up to 25. I've defaulted it to 10 so far, and it seems fine. And then you've got this option for the diversity of paraphrases. By default, I've tried it, moving this around, and 0.5 seems to be the sweet spot for me. You'll see down here, no variations have been generated yet. So I click auto generate. And there we go. It's created them. They're all selected and ready to go. But it will be up to you and the team you're working with to decide if these are relevant. So if you remember, the original question was, what type of programs does Liquid and Blur offer? And we've got what courses does Liquid and Blur provide? What courses are available at Liquid and Blur? What educational programs do? Yeah. So they're all relevant, I think. So I'm going to hit done. So what we've got then is we've got variations on that question, but we haven't submitted them yet. And I'm not going to, because I'm actually going to generate variations of the answer using exactly the same way with generative AI. So go to auto paraphrase answers. The maximum number you're going to do is 3, and I would say just leave that as a default. And then you'll see you've got this option, customize messages by your chatbot personality. Remember the first way that we use generative AI? So we'll toggle that on. And then you can play around with the diversity of those paraphrases. And then I'm just going to leave it as standard and hit auto generate. There you go. So it's given me 3 variations. If I wanted to, I could get rid of them, or I could edit them at this stage. But for training purposes today, I'm just going to add those straight in. So really, if I wasn't teaching you guys how to do this, I could literally go through each Q&A, generate 10 variations of the question, and generate 3 variations of the response in about a minute. And if you're doing 100 Q&As, 100 minutes. Typically, when I've been doing this before, I've given myself up to kind of an hour to do the dialogue creation, the variations, the training, everything else. And I've always kind of quoted about an hour per FAQ. Add in the checks and balances that you need with the client. I reckon probably you've halved the time it's going to take. So rather than each FAQ, Q&A taking an hour, it's going to be half an hour of planning, building, checking, testing. So we're going to submit those responses. And it's done. What we'll do is we'll go through that again, try it on a different Q&A. Here we go. This is a good one. Does Liquid and Blur offer online programs? So there are no question variations yet, and I can see the typical chatbot response. Hit select. We'll go into auto paraphrase question. We're going to leave the defaults and hit auto generate. Remembering here, there's no option to apply the personality because this is basically training it to understand the questions that potential customers might ask. It's creative variations. I've quick look through them. Does Liquid and Blur provide virtual learning opportunities? Is there any form of digital education available at Liquid and Blur? I don't like that one, so I'm going to untick it. Are there online courses available? That's good. Is it possible to study with Liquid and Blur remotely? Good. Does Liquid and Blur offer distance learning? I'm going to select the rest. They look good. So they're in. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the chatbot responses. Auto paraphrase. We're going to click on the chatbot personality. And we're going to leave everything else as default and hit auto generate. And we're going to click done. And then we just need to make sure that we've submitted those. There you go. I'm going to copy the question because I'm going to want to ask that question. Hit submit. So there are our Q&As. If we now go in and preview. Remember, we've only just done the training. Sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself. And we'll ask the question. There you go. So the training has been successful straight away. So Vita's responded with, yes, Liquid and Blur offers a variety of online programs in culinary arts, pastry and baking, hospitality and restaurant management, and wine and beverage studies. Now, I know for a fact that they offer about 20 different programs. So what you would eventually do is go into the design, go into the Q&A board and just expand on that and then regenerate. Really easy to do. So, just check the questions. Yes, so Rupesh says like building a persona and give starter examples. Not even examples, they're actually live. That's the thing. It applies that personality to the dialogue you've created, which is fantastic. Susan asks, is this bot using GPT to scrape the URL you provided in the first customization? Does Juji offer, so it doesn't allow multiple URLs. And I'm not sure if it's a scrape as such, or it's just working on the URL, knows what the business is, and generates the Q&As from that. I don't know if there's anybody from, doesn't look like there's anybody from Juji in, but yeah, I'm sure that when somebody asked that same question, Susan, it was effectively, it just generated that information from what it knew from the URL and what the business name was. I'm sure, pretty sure, I'm 90% sure that ChatGPT does not have access to the internet, but I could be wrong. So there you go. That's really easy way to do it. What I'm going to show you now is another way that we're using it within Juji. So if I go into the design and we go to main chat flow, this is where you spend most of your time when you're building your chatbots. And we go into the welcome message. You'll notice it's a pretty standard message here. Hi, user first name is the string. Welcome to Le Cordon Bleu. Now, if we wanted to, we can click here and edit that chatbot message. And then what we've got is the option to auto-generate paraphrases for the welcome message. I'm sure we've all used a chatbot, and some of us have built chatbots, and often, really, you've only got one welcome message. It is whatever it is. Being able to have a variation is really nice. So, especially if people keep coming back, and when they're buying a big ticket item, such as a training course, could be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of training, they're going to come back multiple times and have the conversation. So it's nice if you can have a different welcome. So as we did with the Q&A, you just auto-generate the paraphrases. You can see there's 3 in there already. We're just going to make sure that we've clicked the personality on. Important bit. Otherwise, you will not get that personality that we defined very early on. And then we click auto-generate. There you go. So it's got some different messages. So if I click done, and now if we go back to preview, we should be able to generate different versions each time we hit the preview. There you go. So that is a totally different greeting at the beginning. Totally different welcome. So if I go back into design and then go to preview again. There you go. Hello there, Jim. It's great to have you at Le Cordon Bleu. So because we've got those variations of the dialogue, it will just basically go through those. Really, really quick and easy. If you were doing that manually, remember the personality as well, the chatbot persona, you would have to generate each one of those messages individually. And then you'd have to have some kind of, randomization going on. But Juji just makes life really, really easy. So just to summarize the 5 ways that Juji are currently leveraging generative AI. So it's that creating the personas at the beginning. So if I go into chatbot settings, you'll notice here that Vita, we set her as diligent, empathetic, and confident, but 3 adjectives. If you're struggling to come up with the right adjectives for your chatbot, use ChatGPT. I went in there and asked it to generate me 20 adjectives, 3 for each, and it did it really quickly. Generating sample chat. So when we were in the main chat flow, if you remember, we used a little brain icon, and then we were able to put in the details and generate the chat and then apply that to the chatbot. The third way, was that we were able to go into the Q&A board and we were able to basically create variations of the question up to a maximum of 25, but we kind of default out about 10. 10 seems to be a sweet spot. And then we're also able to auto-generate using generative AI 3 variations of the answer really, really quickly. I think I can build the Q&As twice as fast as any other platform because of that. So it was creating the initial Q&As, which we saw, and then paraphrasing the questions and the answers. And then finally, the bit that I think is absolute genius, and I wish more platforms did this, is the ability to just go in and auto-generate paraphrases of any bit of dialogue. So if we go to this one here, what brings you here today? I could just go in, auto-generate. We've got some options here. I'm just going to turn on the personality. And I'm just going to hit. There is an option here. Will the paraphrase be used only to re-ask the question if the user does not answer the question? Typically, paraphrases are re-asking. For re-asking, tend to be shorter. Proper conversational design there. But I'm not going to click that on. I'm just going to click the auto-generate. There you go. I don't like that one. That one I do like. So the first one was, what is the impetus behind your presence here today? Horrible. What has prompted you to come to us today? What is the motivation? I don't like any of those. So if I didn't want them, I wouldn't use them. But for sake of training today, in fact, let's just generate again. Let's see what happens. What's the aim of your trip? I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to keep the other two. There you go. It's as simple as that. You can see how you can basically work your way through the template and just apply your personality to each piece of this dialogue. Check the quality of the dialogue. You're looking for the accuracy first, and then you're looking to auto paraphrase. So we'll generate again. There you go. Hit done. Simple as that. So just quickly check, see if there's any other questions. GPT makes sense from the SEO meta tags and builds context on that. If that's true, that's genius. Wexy, from Juji. Mariana Medell, yes, you should be able to see the recording when you come back to the event page. Somebody asking if you'll be able to see it later. So that's really quick. I wanted to do it in 20 minutes. It took me 30. Sorry about that. I got a bit carried away. If you want to sign up for Juji, you can do it today. You get every feature, and you can use generative AI to create a chatbot today. And you can use it as long as you want until the moment that you go to deploy it on a live environment. And then obviously you need to start paying for the platform. If you've got any questions, reach out to me. I'm always available on LinkedIn. If you want to speak to Juji, they're more than happy to have a chat with you, see if it's the right platform for your business. Not every platform is right for every business, and Juji is very keen that they put this tool, this powerful tool, in the hands of the right people that can make the most of it. So thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate it, and catch you on the next one. Bye now.